Yeah.
Thank you. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, that's better. Well, thank you very much, Christine, for your nice introductions. I appreciate. By the way, this is my first time in Geneva. Yesterday, when I was coming, I was so excited to be here because not only that it's a place where many good things happen, but I heard of the name Geneva when I was 15 years old in Ethiopia and in a refugee camp in Kenya and back in Sudan. The name Geneva, it kept ringing all the time, and now here I am. So I am very glad to be here. First of all, my name is John Dow, one of the Southern Sudanese, which is called the so-called Lost Boys of Sudan. We actually got that name from somebody else. I don't know who actually named us as Lost Boys of Sudan. Today, I'm not a boy. I'm a grown-up person. But the name is still there. But I want to talk to you about why people call us Lost Boys of Sudan. I'm going to tell you by explaining a little bit my life story, how I become where I am today. It happened when I was 12 years old in our country, Sudan. Most of you do not know about Sudan. Sudan has been known by a few things. One, it's the country that has been divided into two by the longest river in the world, River Nile. Number two is the largest country in Africa. Last, which is number three, is the country that have been actually fighting each other for many years. Wars started in the 18th century. Another war in 1955. That war in 1955 ended in 1972. Another war started in 1983 and ended in 2005. Yet another war is going on now in our country. That the one was started in 2003 in the region of Darfur and is still going on now. I'm going to talk to you about the war that started in 1983 until 2005. It had actually been the war fought between the North and South. And what happened was that the successive government in the North have been actually trying to kill anybody they can find. And so war broke out between the North and South. There was a rebellion in the South, those who have been trying to resist the mistreatment of the government. And so it happened when I was a little boy. 1983, I was a little boy taking care of my father's cows, no schools, taking care of goats. There were no school in Southern Sudan, especially in the village I was growing up. And then, but the war didn't get to my village until I was 12 years old, in 1987. This is when my village was attacked. And my village was attacked when we were sleeping. My brothers and I, we were sleeping in our house. In the middle of the night, we were woken up by a whistling of bullets. The bomb exploded here and there. We woke up. We found ourselves outside. I was hearing my mother calling outside and saying, meet back away. That's a Dinka statement saying, children, come out. As we got outside, I saw somebody running across on my home compound, and I thought it was my father. So in the middle of the night, there's no light. So I was running after him. As we were going through kind of some few feet, he dodged into the grass. And I was coming near him, kind of by him. He grabbed my arm and pulled me into the grass. All of a sudden, a long line of troops were coming shooting. So we kept quiet. They went into the village. We got back to the pass. A guy I thought it was my father was my neighbor. This guy called Abraham Deganiop. I was with this man until the morning. And in the morning, I asked if I could go to see my parents, all of my family members, if they were alive. Well, he said that I should go with him. So we went for about 3 days with nobody. Then later we met with a woman with her 2 daughters. We became 5. Later we were ambushed, and those one woman and her 2 daughters were abducted to the north. They were taken as wife or concubines, whatever you may call it. And then Abraham and I, we kept going. We were beaten. At some point, we were beaten to a point that I thought, if you see my body, you could see a lot of scars because of being beaten to a point that I thought I was dead. But that didn't, but I survived. At night, there's nothing to cover yourself. It was very cold. Honestly, I cry at night because it's just cold. Can't take it. Daytime, it was just very difficult. We ran into so many ambushes and being attacked by wild animal, and there was nothing to eat. Honestly, I still remember chewing grass like a cow, eating anything that we could find, wild fruits, so they would stay alive. Later we came to a place called Pibor where there was no water. We went for 1 day and a half with no water. Situation became so difficult. And so we start, others didn't want to go. Others want to die there. And later we start drinking human urine so we stay alive. By the time we got to somewhere, some distance, we found mud. Mud is like mashed potatoes. We added. It helped some of the boys, some of us. Remember, when we got into that situation, we were 2 first, and then 5 later. And then we became 19, and then during that time, we were 27. So by the time we left that area where there was no water, we were only 4 of us, and the 23 of us died. And so we moved to Ethiopia. It's from my village to Ethiopia. It took us 3 months to get there. We got to Ethiopia, and some of the boys and girls were coming because in the north they announced that they have to exterminate or kill anybody who is a young boy so that they cannot grow up to join the Southern Revolution. So we came to Ethiopia, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we accumulated there. We are put in a group of 50. I was taller than the other boys, as I said before, so I was 12 years old, but I was taller than the boys. So I was put in charge of 50. These boys were from age 5 to age 15. My group became 1,200 lost boys. These boys were crying every day. They say they want to drink milk, they want to see their mothers, they want to eat food. There's nothing I can do. Myself and other boys who were older was trying to give them support. Today's bad, tomorrow will be good. And then it was another problem too because of diseases such as cholera, typhoid, measles, chickenpox were killing boys every day. I remember in my own group, 2 or 3 boys dying every day. We took their bodies to where we can bury them so that we can give our brothers dignity. When we come back tomorrow to bury the bodies of some more boys, we could find the bodies of those we buried yesterday eaten by hyenas or other wild animal at night. That was a very graphic part of life story. But we didn't give up. We kept pushing on. Later, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees came to Ethiopia to a place called Peñedo, and then the World Food Program, they came and they started bringing food. We stayed there, and then they start bringing clothes. They give you a blanket. So if you had a blanket, then you cover yourself at night. And then at daytime, you cover yourself with it too, because there were no anybody wearing any clothes, and a piece of clothes. And so it was just good, and our life was getting better. 4 years later, the civil war in Ethiopia forced us to go back to Southern Sudan. And the number of the lost boys and girls and adults became 27,000. So we were there moving back to Southern Sudan as we are forced to do so. But then we stopped at a place called Gilo. Gilo is a river infested with a lot of crocodiles in it. The government of Ethiopia, which is actually the current government of Ethiopia, sent troops after us and start shooting at us. And some of us killed, others drowned, others eaten by crocodiles, others lost, others captured. We moved back to Southern Sudan and stayed there for about 9 months. The Sudan government knew that we were back in Sudan, and so they bomb us twice every day. We dug some trenches so that when they bomb us there, we will be we'll run into them. And so it was good. And then, some of us were killed. When it became really tough, because they sent Antonov. Antonov is a Russian-made aircraft that we knew the sound. Even right now, I can tell which one is Antonov, which one is what. So we decided to move to the interior part of southern Sudan to a place called Kapoita, and then we were attacked there. In 1992, we eventually made it to another country called Kenya. Now, coming to Kenya was good because this is where I start to learn A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. I never been to any school of any kind. And I started my education when I was 17 years old. It was just great, sitting under a tree, sitting on the dirt, using my fingers as writing A, B, C, D. It was just unbelievable. The United Nations also, agencies helping us, such as LWF, Lutheran World Federation, that's how it's called, UNHCR, IRC, which is International Rescue Committee, and then so many others. They help us. And then we now adore the United Nations agencies to become like our fathers and mothers because they were the one supporting us with education, with food, with security. This is where I started my education until 1999 when the American came to Kenya, in Kakuma, refugee Kenya. And it was just great. They were telling us they would take us to America. We didn't believe them. Well, it was a real thing. So in 2000, they came back again and started taking us to America. Well, some of us actually think that they know about America, and the speculation about America, people start talking, especially the Lost Boys, and they actually been telling us, if you go to America, be very careful. American girls are crazy. They say how crazy they are. They carry small bag, and in those small bag, and my friend asked, "Do you know what is in those small bag?" We say no. Well, they have gun in it. If you mess up with American girls, they will shoot you. You know, I said, this is a country that is very good and women are killing people. Anyway, I got my turn. I went to JFK, which is New York, and then later flown to Syracuse, New York, my current home. And then from there, I started working at McDonald's, doing dishes and doing a security guard. And then I transferred I enrolled at Onondaga Community College, finished my associate degree in 2004, and then transferred to Syracuse University where I finished my bachelor degree. And I was so lucky to be in America. And then I said, well, I am in America. What can I do to my people? And that's why I start to build a hospital in southern Sudan. It has been operating now for 4 years. And I am now trying to see if I can bring agriculture to my people so that I can bring what I got from United States to help my people. Look, I was not finished. Although I have been hunted down by my fellows Sudanese in the north trying to kill me, thank God I am alive, and that there is a reason as to why I am alive. And that is, I want help. I want to help my people. Not always the West that is supposed to be helping our people. In this situation I am able to help my people. And that's what it's supposed to be. And today, I am glad to be part of these discussions. But there is one thing I want to remind all of you. Sudan problem is not over. It's going on in Darfur. It's still going on in southern Sudan, especially in a place called Abyei. If you could please, as a human rights group, or was supporting this organization, war is not over. But let me tell you this. Without human rights, that would be writing about, human rights group, that would be writing about our situation, none of us would have survived. I would say that. So the great work you start doing, and please still do that work. A BA problem is still there. It's not over. The problem in Southern Sudan is not over. So I want to say that You may not know who are you helping. If I was not helped by people like you and others, things that I have done would have never been done. And you are there as eyes of us, those who have been suffering. And so many other places as the name of the people are coming from, either China, Libya, now Egypt, and other places that speakers are going to speak. They have the same problem. It's just that they are in different places. It's just that they are not African. But I want to ask you if you could support and make sure the problem of Darfur has come to successful end. And problem South Sudan is not over. Thank you very much.